Indian ambush drones brutally kill Pakistani troops as action in Kursk. New videos released by Ukrainian forces show FPV lurk-and-strike ambush tactics in action. The technique is used behind Russian lines to strike vehicles traveling on supply routes and seems to be used as a way to interdict logistics and also for targeted assassinations. This technique may have been adopted as a way to get around the short flight time of FPVs, which typically fly for 20 minutes or less and cannot wait for targets. But it is also a stepping stone to a whole new type of warfare. These tactics highlighted a couple of months ago by a Ukrainian handbook warning of Russian tactics, which was shared on Russian social media. Now we are seeing how the tactics are applied by the Ukrainians. The first video shows a series of strikes on a small ATV buggy, likely one of the Chinese-supplied Desert Cross 1000-3, which Russia is increasingly using due to the lack of military vehicles. The ambush FPV is parked in the snow by the side of the road, facing the traffic with its rotors off. The operator watches the ATV passes, and at 0:04 the video cuts to a few seconds later when the FPV is in the air and pursuing the ATV. It flies ahead of the ATV, then doubles back to fly at the windscreen. The video cut to the view from a reconnaissance drone observing the strike. The ATV keeps moving after the explosion but veers off into a line of trees. The video cuts again to the view from a second FPV approaching the crashed vehicle, which has some charring from the blast but little obvious damage. There is no sign of the driver. The second FPV flies into the FPV. We then get the view from a third FPV, which confirms that the ATV is now a burning wreck, and the video ends. The operator of the third FPV may have gone looking for the driver. Given the amount of snow on the ground, they could probably follow his tracks, but that is not shown. What is clear from this is that all three FPVs were in the ambush area, and the operators found it worthwhile to expend 3 on a low-value target which was not carrying passengers or cargo. In Russia, the Desert Cross costs around $23,000. The FPVs are around $500 each, but availability rather than cost would likely be the deciding factor. Nobody wastes ammo when it is scarce, however cheap it might be. The second video shows 3 attacks on Russian supply trucks. For the first 2, the FPVs are waiting in long grass. When a vehicle appears, the rotors start up and an armed indicator appears on the screen. Then the video cuts to the pursuit, and the text bomb "armed" appears, suggesting there may be a 2-stage arming process. In the third, the drone is by the side of the road and takes off and flies down the road. Video speeded up until it finds the target. Either the target had passed by some time previously and the FPV operator waited for some reason, or they were alerted by a reconnaissance drone operator. In all 3, the FPV operator attacks the vehicle from behind, and all 3 seem to aim for the rear of the cab. Most likely the driver is the target, as the small warhead on the FPV will not stop the truck otherwise. The third video is of the targeting killing of Sergei Melnikov, Chief of Staff of Russia's Storm Ossetia Battalion in Zaporizhia. The GUR, Ukraine's military intelligence, obtained details of Melnikov's route and schedule and planned the ambush in advance. The video shows an FPV passing Melnikov's car and doubling back, aiming at the windshield, as in the attack on the ATV above. The driver swerves off the road and the car rolls. The FPV loops around again and hits the car. The result is not shown, but the GUR confirmed that Melnikov and his driver were both killed. We do not know whether the drone was beside the road before the attack, but the tactics and setup are so similar to the others that this seems highly likely. These perch and wait ambushes are interesting for what they do not show as much as for what they do. There is no indication how the drones reach their ambush spots. Battery life is the big issue. The drones might have flown there under their own power and counted on having enough juice left for the waiting period and the ambush. But they may have been delivered by drone. Wild Hornet's Queen Hornet has been shown delivering FPVs and acting as a flying relay station to increase control range. And when British PM Keir Starmer visited Ukraine recently, he was shown 2 FPV carriers, one a fixed-wing drone, the other a large multicopter. Ukrainian forces are increasingly using drones to lay anti-tank mines on roads behind Russian lines. Mines are relatively easy to remove. Drones which may be some distance from the road and can be relocated or target anyone attempting to remove them may be more challenging.